All right. On behalf of Women Who Code Accra, I would like to welcome you to the Introduction to Tableau webinar. My name is Afia Owusu-Forfie, and today is October 14th in the year 2023, and we are beginning 6 minutes past 3 p.m. Eastern Standard or 7 p.m. GMT. Once again, welcome. Can you guys see my slide? If you can put in the chat or a thumbs up. Can you see my yellow slide deck? All right. Thank you so much for confirming. So I'm the founder and co-director at Women Who Code Accra. I also lead another non-profit organization that I own called Coders Who Travel. So I'm the founder, president, and executive director. I'm a recent senior data analytics alumna with Deloitte Consulting, where I served for almost 5 years practicing data analytics. And through my time with them, the top 2 software that I use is SAS, Statistical Analysis System, which I already did 2 webinars on in the past month. And today we'll be looking at my second top software that I use for data visualizations called Tableau. A fun fact about me is that I'm a recent recording artist and composer of more than 24 plus Christian songs on 2 music albums that were released in 2022 and 2023 respectively. And they adapt The Anointing Breaks the Yoke and Ngosrano Bubu in Konya. So Women Who Code Accra was founded in calendar year 2016, and the link below should take you to our annual report that we release, and it tells you how this journey began for us. It's now your turn, but I really value learning who is joining. So I'm going to put these in the chat: your name, location, job role. Do you have any, it should be Tableau experience, since we are doing Tableau and not SAS, and a fun fact. And along the line, maybe we will read them as we can. Can you see the graph? It turned out to be a graph instead of in text, but it's your name, location, job, or role at a university, and do you have any Tableau experience, and a fun fact about you. Today, our learning objectives is that by the end, you should know a little bit about how to place a request for a free trial of a Tableau license. Tableau has 3 versions. There is Tableau Desktop, there's Tableau that connects to Tableau, your server, and then there's also one that is called Tableau Public. I think it has restrictions. You can't really connect it to data on your desktop. Everything has to be somewhere in the cloud, and that is the free version of Tableau. For this purposes, I am using Tableau Desktop. It's what I'm used to, although I've worked with Tableau in the server before. I prefer using it on my desktop. And so that is the scenario that I will be demonstrating, but all of the demonstrations should work on either of those platforms wherever you find Tableau. And I should mention that there's also other suite of solutions for specific challenges that Tableau has developed, such as Tableau Prep for data preparation and management. You should also be able to list some highlights in the history of Tableau. I always like to share the history of the software and the company behind the software and the founders behind the software, because I found out that the more you know about that, the more you stay engaged with the product that they have released, and the more you are able to stay attached to the software. And it is my hope that you stay attached to Tableau, because it is a very powerful, I have found, for data visualizations. You should also be able to access Tableau and be comfortable navigating the Tableau environment. You should be able to import data from an Excel file into Tableau, and you should be able to differentiate between what the data types in Tableau are, or Tableau further calls them dimensions and measures. And then hopefully there's enough time for us to get into creating worksheets and then demonstrating how you build a dashboard at the end of the day. So I see Ria Meister from St. Louis, educator, novice. I see Deidre, NYC area, previously technical program manager with Uber. No SaaS experience yet. Yes, I think no Tableau experience yet. And fun fact is that I just learned how to speak Spanish after backpacking in South America for 3 months earlier this year. So cool. And there's Pearl Akondo, who has used Tableau from Ghana, Oracle functional consultant, used Tableau in a term project when I was acquiring my undergraduate degree. And fun fact is she's a no-code techie. And there's Sherry, and she has no Tableau experience. Thank you for sharing. So there are different products under Tableau, like I try to get into. And I'm trying to copy this link and place it in the chat so that you can explore it too. But if you go there, you will meet something like this. And it takes you to, their tagline is make better decisions faster with Tableau. And these are their products: cloud, desktop, server, prep, data management. Tableau was bought by Salesforce, and there are additional products. And so I am going to use the Tableau desktop today to do data visualizations. Okay. Feel free to continue perusing that link. There are also solutions based on challenges, broad group of challenges that exist in the world. And so frequently there's healthcare, there's finance, there's education, and there's the public sector, healthcare and life sciences under healthcare, banking and wealth management and insurance under finance, education, higher ed and institutions through to the K-12 groups, and under public sector, government agencies, associations, and nonprofits. And there's a link, See All Industry Solutions, if you want to, drink deep into the number of products or solutions that is available. So trying the Tableau desktop, as many of you that can, would be a good idea to follow this link. And then choose your Tableau desktop. And then maybe at some point you can choose the other ones once you gain some experience today with the desktop, since most of what you learn will be applicable across that domain. And then you're going to click download a free trial. So let me go here and see. So start a free trial. You click on this one. It asks you for your 14-day trial. It tells you there's going to be 14 days in this trial. You fill your name, your first name, last name, business email, organization, company size. They're trying to get as much information from you as possible so they can follow up with you, like all good companies do. And so once you are done with filling that information, then you can download your free trial. So when you get, I believe they will send you an email once you fill all the information, or there will be a landing page where you can download, your trial, but you should get something like Tableau Desktop, 64-bit. If your machine is 32-bit, you probably want to look for that. But mine is 64, and I typically place it in the folder documents. And so that will be the next steps for you. And then once you've downloaded it and you pop up Tableau by searching for Tableau, you can tell that I have Tableau public too, so it's showing, but the desktop doesn't have any public in it. And that's the one that I'm after. So as a first-time user or someone who just downloaded the desktop, when it pops up, it won't just let you get straight into it. It will also have an additional registration form, as you see here. And so you also have to complete that. And this is the Tableau history. I'm going to ask some of you to help me read this. Perpetual, are you in a position to read this first slide? And you're mute, don't forget.
Yes. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. All right. So I'll just go through what we have on the slide.
Sure.
All right. Tableau was founded in 2003 as a result of a computer science project at Stanford that aimed to improve the flow of analysis and make data more accessible to people through visualization. Co-founders Chris Stoltz, Pat Hanrahan, and Christian Chabot developed and patented Tableau's foundational technology, that's the VisQL, which visually expresses data by translating drag and drop actions into data queries through an intuitive interface. Since our foundation, we have continuously invested in research and development at an unrivaled pace, developing solutions to help anyone working with data to get to answers faster and uncover unanticipated insights.
Thank you so much for reading. Then the next person, Deidre, are you in a position to read?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, Tableau history. This includes making machine learning, statistics, natural language, and smart data prep more useful to augment human creativity and analysis. And we not only offer a complete integrated analytics platform, but also proven enablement resources to help customers deploy and scale a data-driven culture that drives resilience and value through powerful outcomes. Tableau was acquired by Salesforce in 2019, and our mission remains the same: to help people see and understand their data. Today, organizations everywhere, from nonprofits to global enterprises and across all industries and departments, are empowering their people with Tableau to drive change with data.
Thank you, Deidre. So I'd like to continue talking a little bit about, their influence in their marketplace. This is, some of the awards and recognition. Gartner, which is pretty reputable, puts them in a magic quadrant. It's like a graph of excellence across different capabilities. And if you are put in that quadrant, particularly the top right corner, then you are doing well. Dresner Industry Excellence Award and Best in KLAS Data Visualization and Reporting. I took a section of that link. No, this is actually a new link. And Tableau Foundation is like the nonprofit arm of Tableau. They do a lot of great work. It's the reason that some Tableau licenses for students and academic professors affiliated with academic institutions are able to get 1 year free license to do their work. And so if you are here and you're a student or you teach at a university or community college, you'll be able to get access to a 1 year free license through Tableau. They also partner with an intermediary tech corporation called TechSoup for nonprofits, and they are also able to get discounted licenses for about 2 years and can renew those licenses when they expire. And so they are impacting about 11,000 organizations in 128 countries. They've given past $12 million since the beginning of the year, but their total given in history is about 102 million. And then there is the different industries. There's climate, gender equality, homelessness, hunger, infectious disease, racial justice. And then the locations, East Asia and Pacific, Europe and Central Asia. And then there is more and more, but you have the link. And so feel free to indulge once you have that. As I said, I found Tableau while serving with Deloitte, and it's been a part of me since that time. I always like to share this quote by Albert Einstein that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And like SAS, I just gravitated to Tableau in a special way. So when you find those things that work for you, I can't overemphasize it enough. Just stick to it. Impact of Tableau on my career since July 2017, when I discovered it, or when I decided to dig into with Deloitte, with Coders Who Travel, with Coursera, and with George Mason University. I've used it all for that. In the spirit of continuing to, inspire you and motivate you, Tableau developers do get paid well. The average is $76,189 according to Indeed.com. How do you find Tableau jobs? You can find it directly with Tableau in the careers section. Okay, it didn't come out well. It came out as that kind of picture again, and I don't know. I want it as a link for you guys. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why some of these links show up like that. I just want to copy it, but it's copying it as, by the way, it's being recorded and I will make it available. So maybe that should solve that for you guys later when that recording is shared after the headquarters processes it. So let's get into Tableau because that's what we are here. So capabilities of Tableau. Tableau is a complete integrated platform for data management. It does under data management, it does data prep, catalog, query federation, security. Under analytics, there's visualization, which will be the focus of today's lesson, advanced analytics, spatial analysis, and under AI, it does augmented business science and data science. So again, we are going to take turns to read what each of these things mean and set up the stage. Farai, welcome again. Can you read data prep for us?
Hi, Afia. Hi, everyone. Okay. Data preparation, also known as data prep, is the process of gathering, combining, cleansing, structuring, and organizing data so that it can be analyzed as part of data visualization, analytics, and machine learning applications. It is also sometimes called pre-processing.
Thank you, Farai. Beatrice, can you continue with catalog?
Sure. I'm trying to see here. Okay, so on my screen, I have capabilities of Tableau.
The catalog. We are reading the catalog on that slide. That's the bottom.
A data catalog is a collection of metadata that creates an inventory of all data assets in an organization. It helps data professionals and users to find the most relevant data for any analytical or business purpose. It also provides information to evaluate the fitness of data for intended uses. A data catalog is a standard tool for data management and discovery.
Thank you, Beatrice.
You're welcome.
Next, we have, is it Rayma? Your username is together, so I think it's probably Ria.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's Ria.
Okay. Can you read query federation?
Yes. Query federation is data integration technique that provides users with a unified view of data from multiple sources. It is a feature that enables clients to access remote, heterogeneous data stored in different locations through a simple query. Query federation emphasizes simplicity and ease of use by presenting the data sources as a single logical source without reoccurring complex ETL or ETL processes. Queries that join tables from different data sets are called federated queries.
Thank you very much. Dinah, security. You're probably on mute, Dinah.
Hello.
Hi, please read security for us.
Data security refers to protective digital privacy measures that are applied to prevent unauthorized access to computers, databases, and websites. It is a process of protecting corporate data and preventing data loss through unauthorized access. Data security also protects data from corruption. Data security is an essential aspect of IT organizations of every size and type. It is also known as information security.
Thank you so much. Mary, can you read visualization for us?
Data visualization meaning is the visual presentation or conversion of data or information into visual elements like graphs, charts, maps, or infographics. The goal of data visualization is to help people understand the meaning of data or information more easily and clearly by showing patterns, trends, correlations, or key messages.
Thank you so much. Advanced analytics, I'll read. Advanced analytics is the autonomous or semi-autonomous examination of data or content using sophisticated techniques and tools, typically beyond those of traditional business intelligence or BI. It is an umbrella term for a wide variety of analytics techniques and tools that work together mostly in a predictive way. Advanced analytics uses state-of-the-art tools such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, along with various statistical analysis and algorithms to examine large data sets. Sherry, can you read spatial?
Yeah. Spatial analysis is a process in which you model problems geographically, derive results by computer processing, and then explore and examine those results. This type of analysis has proven to be highly effective for evaluating the geographic suitability of certain locations for specific purposes, estimating and predicting outcomes, interpreting and understanding change, detecting important patterns hidden in your information, and much more.
Thank you. And Pearl, can you read augmented?
Augmented analysis is an approach of data analytics that employs the use of machine learning and natural language processing to automate analysis process normally done by a specialist or data scientist. It is also referred to as cognitive analytics or analytics 2.0. The term was introduced in 2017 by Rita Salam, Cindy Hausen, and Carly Indon in the Gartner research paper. Augmented analysis uses machine learning and artificial intelligence to enhance data analytics by finding a new method of creating, developing, and sharing data analytics.
Thank you, Pearl. And then Perpetual, I think you're back again. You might be on mute, Perpetual.
Hi, Afia.
Yeah, can you read business science and I'll complete with data science?
Okay, that's fine. All right. Business science is a field of study that deals with the principles of business management and economics. It combines elements of accountancy, finance, marketing, organizational studies, human resource management, and operations. Business science is a multidisciplinary and context-based field that emphasizes the systematic knowledge of the physical or material world gained through observation and experimentation, and how it is applied to a person, partnership, or corporation engaged in commerce, manufacturing, or a service.
Thank you. And data science is a field that uses scientific methods, algorithms, and processes to extract insights from data. It draws from many disciplines such as mathematics, statistics, or computer science, information science, and domain knowledge. Data science can help to understand and analyze actual phenomena with data and discover hidden patterns from the raw data. So Tableau is saying, according to Tableau, they touch all these fields. And it was important that we talked a little bit about a brief insight into them so you know how you may want to apply your Tableau experience going forward. So now let's watch a video. It will show you how to get familiar with the interface. Please put yourself on mute until you have to talk so we minimize any interactions. So this is getting familiar with the Tableau interface. Let's watch. Hello there. In this video, can you see and hear? A thumbs up from someone would do. I'm going to help. Hello there. In this video, I'm going to help you get familiarized with the first interface you see when you log into your Tableau desktop with your license. Here you will see File, Data, Server, Help, all grayed out. Then you will see this segment called Connect, telling you that you are going to be connecting to data. And the first option here is you can connect to a Tableau server. So let's click on that. And then if you have your URL to your server, you are going to click connect. And that's how you connect to a Tableau server. If you want to connect to a file like Microsoft Excel or a text file like Notepad, you're going to click on Microsoft Excel or text file. If you have a JSON file, you can choose JSON file. Likewise, it gives you options for Microsoft Access, PDF file, spatial file, statistical files such as SAS or SAS data sets, and there's even an option for more. If you want to connect to other servers, you can do so here under this block of options: Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, Amazon Redshift, and more. And then if you have any saved data sources, that will also be populated here, but I doubt it shows when you have logged in for the first time, but I stand to be corrected. Then you see here what Tableau is calling accelerators. So you have the Superstore accelerator, World Indicators accelerator, Salesforce pipeline, project portfolio, and retail sales. And so it's like things that Tableau has already prepared for you to make your life easier. And this is relevant for you if your template is similar to the template that Tableau is giving you. And then to the far right, Tableau tells you discover. You can meet Tableau. There are some resources on get started, tour the Tableau environment, connect to and prepare data, build charts and analyze, and learn more. And clicking on these will take you to a landing page on tableau.com. Then there are more resources, how you can get Tableau Prep, which is a distinct tool from Tableau Desktop, Tableau Blueprint Assessment, Tableau Community Forums to connect with Tableau developers around the world. Tableau Accelerators also shows here, and you can read a blog. And then Tableau takes the opportunity to do some advertisements. Tableau 2023.2 is available now, and that is the first interface that meets you. Thank you for watching the video. So that was this interface that we went through in that video. So after you fill your registration form, you should have, in your case, this will be blank because you've not worked on anything yet. And so that will be it. The data set that we are going to use is called Global Superstore 2016.xls dataset. And when I built, okay, so it came through. It came through. But it is also attaching like pictures. That's the part I don't get. Okay. So in that link that I put in, you'll find the sample superstore. And that'll be the data set that we'll be using for this lecture. When we get to a certain point, right now, this file is only restricted to, I just got a prompt table. Oh my God. I don't know why it's happening around this time, but it's happened before. Am I still here? Can you hear me still? Even with that prompt I got on my screen? Okay, I'll assume silence means yes. So try and go to that link and download your data. Just be aware that even though it says global, in this particular file that we are beginning with, it's restricted to the United States. Thank you for confirming, Deidre and Sherry and Larry. So let's download that data set. And then we are going to go over a very important concept called making Excel tables. Whenever you have data in Excel, it's prudent to create Excel data tables out of the content that you receive. So this next video is going to walk through how you do that. Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to explore the Global Superstore 2016 or sample Superstore file that we downloaded from the Tableau community page. Whenever I am in Excel and I have data, I like to do a few things like converting the tables into what is called an Excel table. And I do this by first clicking the first cell, selecting Ctrl+A, and that picks up the values or the section of values. It highlights the section of values that's in the file. Then I'll click on Insert and then click on Table. And then this pop-up, where is the data for your table? And it's highlighting the range that it can be found in. But there's also a box that is already checked. And the default is okay for this scenario because indeed my table has headers. But if your table does not have headers, which is in rare circumstances, then you can uncheck your box like this, or you can check it in my case, and then I'll click OK. I don't like the way the font type is looking, neither do I like the font size. And so I'm going to work on that and move it from this font type to maybe Calibri and choose the size 14. You are also noticing the pound and the ship date and order date, and I want all of that to go away. And the way I do that is still highlighting it. I'm going to click on the boundary of column A and column B and double click it. And for some reason it's not working. So I'm going to stop highlighting, click this again and do double click. And this time it is working. So an Excel table sort of puts filters for every column and sets up the stage for you to explore your data even while it is in Excel. And at this stage, we'll call this your source file, which is where your data originally sits. And you can look through this. You can scroll here to the bottom and begin to look at your data a little bit more. The other sets of table in this file is not just orders, that the tab that we are in, but we also see people. We also see returns. And so let's do what we did by changing the font size, the font type, and then the font size, and then making an Excel table again. And then clicking here, double clicking, repeat, do that, Control A, select everything that's relevant. And so now I have these nice tables set up, and do not forget to save this table. And it looks like we are having a little prompt, and it's talking about, you know, the type of formatting that is happening. And it's asking check compatibility when saving this workbook. And I'm going to do continue. You may or may not get this prompt, but if you do, we just work through how we'll do that. So now I've saved this table, and that is our source data set. Thank you for watching this video. All right. Whenever you want to save your Tableau workbook, there is a drop-down menu as you are saving it. You can save it under two extensions, .twb and .twbx. And the differences between the two, I was always told to do .twbx because it packages everything together with your data set, whereas the TWB doesn't. And so I've kept the habit of always saving it as a .twbx. But here are some differences. Sorry, I have a cold too, so my voice and everything it's not at par, but I think I'm managing so far. TWB is an XML file for your Tableau workbook, contains all the selections and layouts you've made. It does not contain data. These tend to be very small, as in the size, when you save it as a TWB. TWBX is a zip file that contains TWB as well as the data used by TWB in an extract. TWB can be open only with desktop. TWBS can be opened with desktop and reader. And so Tableau has something called Tableau Reader that is free for everybody to interact with a Tableau product or solution. So I do my work and I send it to someone who doesn't have Tableau. I can show them to install a Tableau Reader and they'll be able to engage with it, but they won't be able to edit it. You know, it's kind of like the README only functions in some software packages. And so on and on it goes. TWB can connect to the actual source or extract. TWBS must be connected to an extract, and you make the choice between the two, but I think the TWBX is what most people use. So I'm going to show a demonstration of that. Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to connect Tableau to the Excel file that we edited. And so I'm going to close it, save first, and that prompt we had again, but ignore that and X out. We're going, since it's a Microsoft file, since it's a Microsoft Excel file, we're going to choose the Microsoft Excel option under to a file. And then we are going to navigate to where our sample Superstore data set lies. And notice that it's definitely an Excel file here. And then I'm going to click open. And immediately I'm met with this interface. Let's look around. We have file, data, server, window, and help. We also have Tableau Book 1 as the generic name. Let us change the name immediately. And I'm going to go to my set folder, and then I'm going to say www code Accra Tableau workbook. Notice that the extension for Tableau workbook is .twb. If I click on this drop down arrow, it will give me another option that says Tableau packaged workbook.twbs. When I learned Tableau, I was advised to always save it as a .twbs because that packages your file together with the Excel sheet. That is what I was told. And so I've always, maybe it's time to look into this, but I've always saved my files as a .twbx instead of a .twb. So let's do that and save. So now the generic name is gone and we have how we saved our file. We have connections and it's connected to the sample Superstore file. But under Sheets, we notice that the tabs that we saw in the Excel sheet have their own separate icons. And so here we have orders, we have people, we have returns. And then we also have orders in parentheses, named range, people, and returns. And then it's talking about new union and new table extension. Let's pivot to this blank white canvas. It's telling us to drag our tables here. And then at the bottom, we have data source, sheet 1, new worksheet. If we hover over the square with a plus sign, and if we hover over the 4 squares with a plus sign, we see new dashboard. And if we hover over the book icon with a plus sign, we see new story. So that is the interface that meets you when you are in Tableau. Thank you for watching. So I noticed that because of the volume, you weren't really seeing the other icons at the bottom that I was talking about. So suppose we were to do something like this, and we did something like that. This is what was showing in the video demo. And these were the icons at the bottom that I was talking about. Currently, we are in the data source tab. The sheet tab is where you go and do your work. But if you want to create another sheet, it's the square and the plus icon called the new worksheet. If you hover over it, and if you hover over the 4 squares and a plus sign, that is the new dashboard. And the last one is an open book with a plus sign. And that one is called data story or a news story. So the volume had covered it when I was going over. So I wanted to reiterate. We have 2 more videos and then we will start digging in with the paint brush. In this video, we're going to drag the tables to the canvas like Tableau is suggesting. And then we're going to look at the different types of columns that Tableau categorizes based on its own inbuilt intelligence. Drag the orders table here. And then immediately Tableau is asking, do you need more data? Because we are just getting started, we're not going to add any more data to this file. But let's see what we are experiencing here. There is a tooltip that is saying you can go to the worksheet. And so we will take a note of that. Here, Tableau is telling you that there are 21 fields, otherwise known as columns, and then there are 9,994 rows. And then here is telling you the legend for the fields. And so Tableau is saying there's a type that is a pound sign, and it was assigned to the row ID. There's a type, it's ABC. It was assigned to order ID. There's a type that looks like a calendar icon, and it was assigned to both the order date and ship date. And then ship mode and customer ID were assigned to the ABC. And more ABCs. And then we see our first globe sign or icon for country / region and city. And then it's also repeated for state and postal code. And we are back to more ABCs for region, product ID, categories, subcategory. And then back to the pound signs for sales, quantity, discount, and profit. This is how Tableau is working through data types. In data science or in computer science, whenever you are interacting with data, you must be thinking of the data types. For numeric variables or digits or numbers or currencies, Tableau assigns the pound sign. For character variables or alphanumeric variables or columns, Tableau assigns the ABC. For date values, such as the order date and ship date, it gives it a calendar icon. And for geographic variables like city and country or region, it assigns the globe variable. You can scroll through the data using these scrolling bars. And right here it's telling you, it's giving you the first 100 rows in the data set. And if you want to go further, I believe you can do maybe 200. And let's see the impact of the first 200. Did it affect the order ID? No. Pardon me. Let's stick to this and I will explore that in a subsequent video. In the settings, you are able to, tweak the layout that you are given, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to look at this arrow, and what it does is it compresses or collapses the table that you have. Let's click on sheet number 1. And so we've moved from the data source pane to sheet number 1. Let's name it orders, since that's the name of the file. And now we see the data types also being represented. But notice that there is some coloring also being displayed. We have the blue and then we have the green. And that brings us to an important concept of dimensions versus measures. Categorical variables are given the value blue or the color blue, or are known as dimensions in Tableau. And numeric or continuous variables are given the name measures in Tableau, and they are assigned the color green. This is a good stopping point for us to process what I've said so far. See you in the next video. So the dimensions and measures, again, because of the volume, you couldn't see the icons at the bottom. So I went from this, I dragged this one here, and then the icons, Tableau has an inbuilt intelligence. It's categorizing and assigning it to different icons. And the icons we have the pound, ABC, calendar icon, and the globe icon. And then it's also categorizing it as green and blue, depending on the icon. I don't know why it's taking so long for it to get here. But once it gets in here, it categorizes the categorical variables. Categorical variables are variables that have finite options in the set of values. And then the continuous variables are those with infinite values. And so wanted you to see the options here again. Let's look at the last video until we start actually playing with Tableau live. Welcome back. In this video, we are going to explore the top options in this canvas. We still have the file, data, worksheet, dashboard, story, analysis, map, format, server, window, help. Under analysis, when we click on analysis, we see a whole host of options: aggregate measures, stack marks, explain data set, and percentage of. And you start to see create calculated field, which is the way Tableau says which is Tableau's way of saying create a new column, which is a transformation of two or more columns or one or more columns into a new column. Frequently, I use the analysis, and most analytics people use the analysis, but we also use the maps whenever we have to do something geographic. And then formatting is how you change the look of the formats. And then there's data, there's worksheet, again, there's dashboard. Another thing to pay close attention to is the show me button here. When you click on it, right now everything is grayed out, But as you hover over it, it's different types of readily available graphics and charts that Tableau will make available once you begin dragging and dropping the dimensions and measures onto the columns and rows up here. And so right, we haven't dragged and dropped anything on the visualizations canvas. So pay attention to that. To a concept called a feature in Tableau called Tableau Viz of the day, as in visualization. So a lot of people around the world are programming in Tableau every day, developing amazing things. And so I learned Tableau by going there, looking at what is available. And usually as you are looking at it, it triggers an original idea that you have, at least for me. I used to do picture making in high school, and I was quite good at it. So usually when I go there, it tells me it triggers my mind to another visualization. And so let's go there and look at some of the visualizations that exist over there. So here is telling you what Tableau Public is. And then Tableau Public Viz of the Day highlights data visualization created by members of the Tableau community. It's designed to spark meaningful data conversations, showcase what's possible in Tableau, and elevate the informational and inspirational data visualizations from our community of authors all over the world. It also gives data enthusiasts around the globe the opportunity to grow, connect, and be inspired. And so you can go there and get inspired yourself, and you can subscribe. And then once you subscribe, you will get notified daily about the choice of visualization Tableau has decided to highlight. And so let's go to that Superstore. So if we go to that Tableau, and I believe you search for Global Superstore, it's even reminding you, you're going to get a lot of attempts by people on what this visualization does. There are many ways people have chosen to make this data visualization work. And so for our purposes, I think there's one that we will be using by Antoine Sowetewe. And that is the link. If you go there to Antoine's visual expression of the Global Superstore data set. By the way, the Global Superstore data set is a data set from Tableau that they created for people to, to enable everyone express the concepts in Tableau. And so here you see that story one is featured, but today we are not going to touch on stories because that's an advanced level. But we have sales dashboard, customer breakdown, right? Customer breakdown, sales by subcategory, global sales and profits, cross-tab, sales seasonality, and quantity by category and market. And here you can get the download button and you can download it and you can choose Tableau Workbook is what you want. And when you click on that, that will be saved to your desktop. All right, now that we've taken care of the setups, I wanted you to find this full Global Superstore data set. Up to this point, we're just using the United States version. And so while preparing for this, I realized that it was just United States. And so I searched the internet and I found it on kaggle.com. Some people call it Kaggle. It's the same thing. And you can find the actual global, not just the United States one, and you can download it. You probably need to create an account with Kaggle for you to be able to access this data set. When you are in Tableau, you have to observe these panes. There are pages, filters, marks, there are columns and rows, and there are icons at the top for so many things. And so just observe these panes. It should have been empty, but I decided to drag and drop. We call these blue and green pills. Whenever you drag something into columns and rows, you call them pills. And so if you hear people saying market pill or quantity pill, that's what they mean. And so in that visualization we just downloaded from Antoine Sowetewe, the first tab is seen in Tableau like this. And how he created the visualization is how I processed by looking at that visual, looking at where the pills have been dragged to, and mimicking that. It's really how you start getting your hands dirty with Tableau, by looking at the visualization, try to replicate it. And you do that so many times. And before you know it, now you are getting ideas of your own originally to also explore that. So we are going to try and recreate this right now. Last night, this was working. And so let's use that since it's the most recent one. It takes Tableau a little bit of time to, link the data set to the application and set it up ready for you. And it gives you a timer just so you can be a little patient. And this just opened to the final product that I plan to show you. So this is a goal. When you download Antoine's own is called, I put that one here. Okay, never mind. I think he calls it global analysis. So let me just get that ready also. Yeah, sometimes it prompts you that it's an older version. So this is what you will get when you download Antoine's. And you can tell that my visualization looks exactly like that. So how do you go from a blank Canva to something like Antoine has? So the first thing is you are going to click on this icon, new worksheet. And then you are going to reference this and try to replicate. You are going to drag market, which is the market variable, whether it's in Europe or Africa. You're going to drag it here. When you drag it here, Tableau is already creating a table, getting ready. There's Africa, Asia, Pacific, Europe, Latin America, and North America, US, and Canada. let's see what else thing is telling us. It says drag quantity also to columns, and the order is important. And so you come here, you go to quantity, and you drag it here. As you are dragging it, you see that Tableau has aggregated it as a sum function. If for some reason you don't want it as sum, you can come here, right click on the arrow, and you can choose average, median, minimum, percentile, standard deviation. But because we are trying to replicate Antoine's dashboard, we'll just leave it as sum. Then I look here, drag category and segment also to rows. Again, the order is important. And so I come here, what was it again? Category and segments. So category is the first one to row, and segment, I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. Category and segment. So where is segment? Segment is also row here. And immediately it's shaping up, right? We have the market, we have the quantity of orders, we have the category, which is furniture, office supplies, technology. And then within that category, we have whether the furniture was sold to the consumer or corporate or home office. And to bring the coloring in Antoine's thing, because the colors help us, see patterns in the data. And so there's always a mixture of the graphs with colors, and that's teasing out information to you, the analyst. And we are going to drag category to filters, so we can have these filters here, the Africa, and then we are going to drag the market to color, category to filters. So category comes here, and then you get a pop-up. It's asking you, do you want to select from a list? Do you want a custom value list? Do you want to use all? I always choose the select from the list or use all. And then you can do apply and this. When you do that, sometimes it doesn't show up. So you have to say show filter. And then it shows the filter for you. And so if you uncheck the box, it disappears and all comes. You can also do this and just see the furniture. You can just see the office supplies. You can see both office supplies and technology, or technology alone. But for this chart, it's all that is being used. Let's drag market to color so we get that coloring. So we take it to color. And then now we definitely are starting to see a very nice graph emerging. And so this here is very important. When you want to change the color, you drag it to color. When you want to affect the size, you have to drag it to size. If you want labels on it, you drag it to labels, detail, tooltip. And under the marks, there's automatic. The automatic is Tableau's intelligence at play or at work, but you can see a whole list of things you can do with these things. And so that's how you get the first worksheet. And the Antoine guy called it quantity by category and market. And I'm going to do version 2 since I already have it. And as soon as I save it, what happens? The name of the worksheet appears at the top. And so you can, as you name your charts, you can creatively be naming them well so everything looks nice. And don't forget, always save. As soon as you've made enough progress, you want to save. I don't know if it's saving, but it looks like this. So let's go to Antoine's next chart. He has sales seasonality, but actually let's spend some time on what we created a little bit. So here we are seeing that there's a pattern. There's a pattern because consumer in every category seems to be higher than corporate and than home office. And corporate seems to always follow consumer before home office. Is it just me, or are you guys also seeing that pattern? And then you're also noticing that when you hover over it in Asia Pacific, the quantity is 14,596. And here it's in Europe, it's a little less, 14,283. Then Latin America follows. Actually, the US, Canada follows, by then Latin America, and Africa is the last. So for this category and count by quantity by category and market, what is revealing is that Africa is lagging behind in terms of sales and the kind of orders that were placed in the Superstore data set. So let's go to the next chart in Antoine's chart. Sales seasonality. How do we create that? We just create it by observing what Antoine has done, getting our hands dirty so that we'll be able to replicate. And so here we have, it seems there's month, there's category, there's sales, there's category, there's year, there's sum, and all of that. And so I've broken it down for you. Sales seasonality. The steps are, you're going to drag the order date to the columns, and immediately something will happen to order date. So let's look at that. We dragged order dates, and immediately Tableau has figured that maybe she's after the year. And the way we see that is there is a square and a plus sign that we can expand if we feel that Tableau was too proactive in saying we needed the year. So maybe I don't need the year, maybe I need the month. So I'll click on that plus, and Tableau thinks, the next bundle that makes sense if I don't like the year is quarter. And I still don't like that, and so I click month. If you like it, then you follow what Tableau is suggesting. But if you don't, you keep clicking on the level of the order date that you are after. So once we drag order date, it became year, and we expanded to quarter and month. We are now going to drag category and sales to rows. So category, sales, and this is what it's looking like so far. It doesn't really look like Antoine's chart, but don't be phased, just keep looking at it. And you've noticed that every time there is a numeric variable, it changes with an aggregation value because it's a continuous value, so it has to wrap it around some kind of aggregate function. And so here we are going to drag category to filter, and let's do that. Category to filters, it pops up again. I'll leave it as the default. I'll come here and say show filter, so it can show that. Drag year order date to color. And we notice that Antoine just won the month. And so we are going to do this. We are going to get rid of this quarter and year is what we are getting rid of, because in Antoine's charts, we saw that it's just month that he is after. And then we are going to drag year to color. So I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of the year so quickly, but let's say order date to color. And now the coloring is beginning to show like Antoine's chart. And we are going to drag the sum of sales to the tooltip. So the tooltip is one of these icons. So when we look at things, we can see things well. And so here is sum of sales to tooltip is what it's saying. So sum of sales to tooltip. And so there we have things really looking like Antoine's. And notice that now we also have year grouped by color here. So the true power of Tableau is you can just zoom in, drill down to one chart, all the charts that is only available in 2012. You can say keep only. I wouldn't do that. Or you can say exclude it. You can go to 2013, 2014, 2015. And we're noticing that it looks like each line series begins somewhere, dips a little bit, goes up, and then experiences a huge dip somewhere in July. All the charts is following that. And so if you observe something like that in your data, then what is telling you that in fall of every year for the past 4 years, between 2012 to 2015, you need to plan ahead because maybe orders will dip. And that is why in Antoine's chart, he has the fall sale as something for us to know. When we hover over Antoine, we also see that he has the % difference in sales from the previous year of the order date. This is very important, the year-over-year growth in business, because people just want to know if we are tracking well compared to where we were last year. And so how to do that in hours? We will click on this drop-down arrow. Tableau has something called quick table calculation. And that is where you get running total difference and the year-over-year growth. So we are going to click on that. And once you do that, it shows you have changed it to include the quick table calculation of year-over-year growth of the difference by putting a triangle icon in the pill. And so now when we hover over it, we now have a percentage of where things were last year as well. And then the coloring breaks the lines up, so we know exactly which line belongs to 2012, that is blue, and that 2014 is red, and on and on. Now we are going to save it as sales seasonality version 2. Yeah, thank you, Perpetual, for the heads up. And so now we have our second chart with the name. Let's go to the next chart in Antoine's dashboard. We now have a cross tab. A cross tab is, fixing two variables and the accounts broken down by the variables. And sometimes people add percentages and raw counts. And because it's just a whole lot to look at, people introduce stepped colors. It's a stepped coloring scheme to make sure that the coloring all breaks out well. And so here we have our next sheet. We go in for this. We look at our cheat sheet for how to make this. we just drag the order date to columns. So let's do that. Order date to columns. It immediately wraps year around it. Measure names. It's a good time to talk about extra variables that Tableau creates called measure names, latitude generated, longitude generated, orders count, and measure values. These don't come with your data set. Like if we went to data source here, we wouldn't really see those variables here, is the point, because they didn't come with the data set. And so Tableau automatically anticipates that you might need certain things to build your graphics, and it goes ahead and makes those things. And so here, the measure names will be dragged to where? To the column. And you will drag it here, and it's starting to process. You will drag order date and category to rows. You will drag order date and category to rows. Now we are getting somewhere. It's beginning to shape up. In the graph, I see that instead of the year, it's the month in the row. And so we are going to get rid of that, and we'll get rid to get the right level of detail. And then you must save it as you progress. Measure names and category will go to filters with measure the first and the category the second. So measure names here, apply, and then category. Sorry. And then we're going to do profit and measure values. And wow, we are getting something, aren't we? If I'm not able to continue because of the cough, we will schedule another meeting to conclude this lecture. To change the coloring to Antoine's green and gold. Thank you, Deidre. I'll see if I can complete it, but if not, yes, I will do that. You click on this drop-down arrow, and you're going to choose Edit Colors. And then instead of automatic, you're going to get this whole scheme. So you can have so much fun with the colors. If you choose green gold, you are going to mimic Antoine's chart. And you're going to choose step. And then apply. And then okay. And that's how you get to his chart. Let's look at our cheat sheet. Measure values to color, to tooltip, sorry. So we grab the measure values here and we take it to tooltip. And wow, we get a whole lot more than what is on Antoine's chart here. He just has sum of sales. And so we are going to get rid of count this, that, because this did everything. And then I'm going to bring back sales because Antoine used double sales. So let me see. The sales didn't work as a double. So let's change this from back to the year over year. Let's change this to a quick table calculation, year over year. And then we are going to get rid of the shipping cost. But first, let's bring the sales to maintain the structure and get rid of the shipping cost. Oh, good question. What do the colors represent? So, Deidre, you will see the sum profit legend here, where there's a range of minus 1,811 through to 31,298. And so this coloring scheme is saying if the profit that you got on the orders of furniture, you know, by the category, right? If it's near the bottom, that is, there weren't a lot of profit, it will be highlighted in gold. And then the next color after gold is like the goldish green. It's more looking like gold than green. And then the next color is sort of green. And the color following is a 5-step color scheme. So when we went here and we chose the edit, we chose a 5-step, right? And so that's just what the colors mean. And so this visual, as soon as you see it and you look at the scheme here, you just know that in 2012, furniture in January didn't really do well that much because the colors are already telling you the story. Does that help, Deidre? And then the green shows you that the profit is doing a good job. Okay, great. That was a great question. You're welcome. And let's see, do we have everything that Antoine has? Looks like we do, except the highlight color here. And then maybe the values actually showing on the chart. And so here, I played with it a little bit to see what was going on. And the way I got around with this was highlight this cell. Don't click on it too hard because then it does that. But then you are going to do Control A, and then it will highlight every cell. You're going to do right click, and then you are going to say mark label. And instead of automatic, leaving it on Tableau to do that, you are going to say always show. And that's how you get all the values showing. Now, obviously the numbering and the values are a little different from the numbering and values that are showing here. So let me do a little bit of brainstorming to see what is going on. And so we got it to tooltip, didn't we? But we have more coming here. We've already done that. We've already done that. Okay. So saying instead of automatic here, we should make it square. And we did that. And we've already done that. change the color scheme of profit. We've already done that. Let's just show the highlighter. We've already done this, but we can say show the highlighter. And then we'll get this extra one. And then we can say furniture, and then it just highlights all the colors, office supplies, technology. So you can begin to see why a manager, if you present something like this to him, will really value these charts. And I'm still working on why it's not doing, while our numbers aren't matching Antoine's, but that's something I can email you later when I figure it out. It also happened last night, but last night I was able to figure it out. And you can tell that my stuff is the same as that. Oh, let me see. Even though it says to tooltip, I think it was supposed to be, oh, no, not this one. Oh, don't mess it. This says to tooltip, but I think it was supposed to be label. Okay, so be careful. If it says label, make sure it's tooltip. And so right now we have it exactly, here is blank because there's no year before 2012. That's why it's blank. But all the other years, the difference in sales year over year is showing. And then you can do this, you can do that, and you can do technology. And so you can see why a manager will really be happy with you. You can do sorting of things too. If you need to sort it, like there's already a sorting at play here, but we won't get into that because time is really running out. And so we are going to call this crosstab version 2. And then we are done with the crosstab. Antoine next went into a map on his chart. And it's very simple to make a map in Tableau as long as you have the longitude, latitude already generated, which is how a map is plotted through those values. And so Tableau sees global icons, city, region, state, country. It goes ahead of you and automatically does that. So how should we recreate it? I give a little overview of how you can create the difference value. I did that research last night, and there are 2 options, and I chose the point and click option. But there's also, yes, Deidre, yes, Tableau really does it so quickly. If you are in geospatial, you need to advocate for Tableau. It's really cool. It's really easy. I was a SAS programmer for many years. And then in 2017, I saw what Tableau could do. And I'm like, I love SAS. I'm a diehard, but I think Tableau has visualization power and I'm going to add it to my portfolio. So feel free to do the same, Deidre. And the map, you just drag longitude to columns, and rows, you drag latitude. So let's do that. So longitude to columns and rows to latitude. Oh no, I didn't do it right. Just see that. Just doing that, you already have the makings of a map. And then you're going to put category in the filters. And so it's asking you that same question. Do you want it all? And then make sure you show filter so you can show it here. And it's blank, but if you click all, then you are getting somewhere. And I think it's thinking, but it will pop up. And then the sum, the profit is at the color, the sales is as the size. Is at the size. So profit goes to color, sales goes to size. And you know it's because the icon will be reflected down here. Oh, good question. Can the maps made in Tableau be shared separately from Tableau, like in a PDF? Yes, I think this share icon here, what does it say? I thought it's a share button that will let you share things, but let's hold on to that question. I don't know at the top of my head, but something worth Googling, but I'll really be surprised if there's no way to transport things out of Tableau in like a PDF, but I'm very sure that's possible. I may not know how to do it, but Google is always worth a try, or Bing, and web searching, you will find lots of information. And because it's a company behind the software that has money to pay employees, their communities are well maintained. We are not seeing anything on our graph yet, but let's keep being bold. That's because we don't have country and state added to detail yet. And so don't give up. Country to detail and state to detail. And then the same scale is showing. The negative value is orange and the more profit is now in blue. We can change the color. You can zoom on the map here like this. You can, unzoom like that. You can search for, I believe, maybe what state? Okay, so cities is coming up, but let's say California. It can zoom in like that, and then you can get rid of it like that. Or you can always use this back sign. It's like the undo, and you can use this to also go back to that. So you can use that to toggle between. And there you have a map of the profit and sales, where the sales determines the size, right? And the profit is, how much you made on the sale. And so again, we can say global sales and profits version 2. And it's also telling you something about 30 unknown. And when you hover over it, it's saying there are 30 values that have unknown geographic locations. So now we have a map, and for the sake of time, we won't continue all of Antoine's stuff. He also has the bar chart. That's a homework exercise for you. You make sure you get to it. There's a customer breakdown, and I'm going to skip to making the sales dashboard. And obviously, since the first 2 charts, these are the 2 charts that we need the most to add to the map in our sales dashboard. So maybe I can skip after all. Let me quickly do that, and then this will be real fast because we are trying to get through this. And so sales by subcategory version 2, you have that. We go to our cheat sheet. It says, so we've already done the map. And this one is category, subcategory. And category, subcategory. And category, subcategory, sales to rows, category to filters. So sales to rows, category to filters, apply, okay. And already we are seeing some semblance of Antoine's map, profit to color. So we do that. This profit to the color here. And it brings back the scale here. And category will be sorted in descending order and subcategory likewise. And so we click on here and we can say sort. And it will ask you, ascending is the default. And then you saw that flip quickly. And then it shows you it's descending with this icon. And then you do the same sort and you choose ascending. And I noticed that this map was slightly different than Antoine's, but it's the same explanation. It's just that I believe technology, then furniture, and then office supplies in his. Don't want you to be confused by that. You know, ours, the office supplies comes before the furniture, but it's the same graph. And so we are moving on. And then finally, looks like we have something like a customer breakdown, which is a scatter plot of the shipping cost with profit, and then some filters to make it interesting, and then some detail using the customer ID. And so we do that. We create another sheet. We call it customer breakdown version 2. And go back to our cheat sheet, drag shipping cost to columns, shipping cost to columns. And then what else? Profit to rows, profit to rows. And then customer ID to detail. So first category to filters, category to this filter, apply, make sure you say show filter or else it doesn't show. Make sure you click all and then the graph grid shows and it's saying take category to shape. And so now the categories have been segmented. The furniture is circle, square is office supply, and technology is the plus sign. And then your cheat sheet will say customer ID also to detail. So you are going to put it here. And then all of the customer IDs are now together. And so now we have all the charts that Antoine has created. His is gray, but we will leave it at blue. But just know you can change the colors by either going to formatting and sometimes directly by clicking on cells. So we are now very close. This is how you create a dashboard. So far, we've used the square and the plus sign, but here we are going to choose the 4 squares and the plus sign. And then we now have our dashboard and automatically called it dashboard 2. I'm going to say global sales and profits final as our dashboard. So far we've been doing worksheets and doing worksheets. One moment. So far, we've been doing worksheets, and now we are in the dashboard pane or Canva. See that it gives you default, phone, and now we are using default. Default is like working on your laptop. But after you do your visualization and you want to see how it might look on phone, I think it gives you that option as well. It also gives you the size options for the type of desktop screen you have, so that if you are sharing something with someone, you can toggle between the best formats. But all of the sheets we created, they are all represented here. Mine, as well as the version 2s that we created. So I'm making it this way so we can see all the V2s quickly. And Antoine did the map and the last two visualization. Another thing you should know are the objects. You have to Google to find out what each of these mean. Take that as homework. But for now, what I will say is that the tiled versus floating is how you toggle once you have things on your dashboard. I was told that tiled is a preference, and so I like to do tiled. But sometimes when you do the tiled, things become so rigid, and so sometimes floating allow you to also toggle. So I kind of use both, but I lean heavily towards the tiled. So the map is the global sales profit, and Tableau gives you a pre-looker, and you just double click or you just click on this icon. Actually, this will take you back to the sheet, never mind. So I just double click this, and then the first map, the second map, version 2, is displayed on, because that is the only chart you have. Tableau has filled the whole worksheet with everything on the dashboard, right? So when you double click the next chart, see where Tableau puts it. Not so much looking like Antoine's, and then you can double click that and Tableau puts it somewhere. So if you leave Tableau, this is how your dashboard will look. And everybody knows that the map should, or even if you don't know, maps should really take most of the picture so that you can see a lot of it. So how do you drag and drop these? That is something that takes time to do, because you have to not wordsmith it, you have to architect it in such a pleasing way. And this is a good time where if you are working with a client, you can ask them, are there any colors that you like me to feature in your dashboard? Are there any colors you like me to stay away from? Do you have a logo? Should I incorporate the colors of your logos so that it looks very customized and you get answers? And the more you include the clients in your process, the more they are going to say yes to the final product. So let's try to wordsmith this a little or re-architect this. So I'm going to say this. The map should be a little bigger. And I'm going to use this plus sign. Notice that Tableau is shading the options, right? And I want it here. So I'm going to allow it to be here like that. And with that, we kind of have something looking like Antoine's. Don't forget to save it. We don't need this to be that big anymore. And we kind of are very close to what Antoine said. But I put in something extra in mind, is how do you do the logo? And I'll choose floating. And then I'm going to say image. And I don't know that. I'm going to choose the logo, the Women Who Code logo. And I'm going to say that. And obviously put it somewhere on top of the map where it cannot be. And I'm going to resize it. Notice how I'm using the float to make sure that it's not too rigid. And then I think we are close to Antoine's. It's just that we've now rebranded it. His looks to be more stretched out than ours, but for lack of time, you can blow it up in a screen like this if you want to look at it like that. And then you can go back by clicking here. And then if you are showing to your supervisor, you can click these arrows, and they'll be really pleased with your presentation skills. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our introduction to Tableau. Put your comments in the chat of how things went so I can continually improve these sessions. But for now, we are done. We have a Tableau dashboard branded with Women Who Code Accra. Thanks for being troopers and staying to the end. And I'm glad my voice made it too. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for that feedback. It's being recorded, and so if you're on the Women Who Code, we will send to the group email, and it should hit your email account. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you so much. It was a lot of good information. I'll give the slides a review. We typically don't share the slides, but it's being recorded, and so you can have access to all of that information. All right, it's 5, and so you've hung out with me for about 2 hours. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm going to wrap it up. I know, I can't wait to be over, for it to be over. Mary, the code. I have a speaking engagement on Tuesday, so I'm like, the voice needs to rest, but unfortunately, I have things to do too. But yeah, I'll monitor things and see. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, Mary. Sherry, no, I will not be doing part 2. I think we got to a good stopping point today. These are supposed to be introductory and whet your appetite. But yes, if you need in-depth lectures, just email me at Afia Women Who Code Accra. Actually, I forgot about my my concluding slide. Sorry, hang in there. I was so thrilled to get to the dashboard. The concluding slides gives you a way to keep in touch with me for additional questions and pain points. So let me put these in the chat for you. My email at both Women Who Code and Coders Who Travel, and also my LinkedIn profile if you would like to stay in touch over there. I don't know why all the images are coming double, but maybe it's a Zoom feature. Oh, it's Zoom. Okay. Maybe it's an upgrade. All right. Have a good one and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and stay tuned for more webinars from the Women Who Code Accra team. Bye for now.